Welcome students, welcome again. You all are welcome again to this next video lecture, which is very important as far as this title is concerned, that is the 7 habits of highly effective people. Okay, we often listen about this title. You are often suggested that read this book, that is 7 habits of highly effective people. Okay, but what are those 7 habits? We don't know. Okay, so those things we are going to study in this current video lecture, that is the 7 habits of highly effective people. So see here, Stephen Covey who has composed this book, that is the 7 habits of highly effective people, and in this book he has mentioned 7 habits. Those are in front of you. That is, first one is be proactive, second begin with the end in mind, third put first things first, fourth think win-win, fifth seek first to understand and then to be understood, six synergize, and seven sharpen the saw. So these things, these 7 habits we are going to study in this today's video lecture. So before proceeding further, we must know what is the personality and what is character. We have already studied personality development, aspects of personality development from the perspective of Swami Vivekananda and psychologist let me think here, that is Sigmund Freud. The name of the psychologist is Sigmund Freud. So once again we will repeat the information about the character and personality. So character is closely related to moral and ethical values. We always say that he has good character, this person is of character. Okay, so it focuses on the traits that are unique to a person, and character is often regarded as the true self, meaning that it represents deep rooted attributes possessed by a person. For example, any person possesses that attributes, and those attributes are deeply rooted in his personality, and that's why we say that that person's character is very good. Okay, so again, what is the meaning of personality? So personality is often referred to as the mask identity of a person. It is reflected by the outer appearance and behavior that may or may not be true to inner character. Okay, means you will feel that my personality is very charming, very true, but someone will feel that my character or my personality is fake. Okay, it is depend upon the attitude and perspective of different persons. Okay, so it is we can say it is a mass identity of a person. Okay, means whatever personality you are observing of yourself is different that of other person. Means other person will observe your personality in different way. That's why it is said that it is a mask identity. So here are two parts, that is personality ethic and character ethic. So these personality traits are included in the personality ethics. Those are personality, public image, attitudes and behaviors, skills and techniques, and quick fixes. It is related to the personality ethic. And character ethic includes integrity, humility, fidelity, temperance, courage, justice, patience, industry, simplicity, modesty, and the golden rule. We have golden rule, that is win-win. Okay, so not just what do I want, but what do I want it, why do I want it. Character ethic prompts you that why do I want it. You want it because you need it, and you want it because of that, due to that thing you are going to make society better. Okay, that is related to character ethic. So it is the primary traits. Character ethic is a primary trait of your personality, and personality ethic are secondary, which may help one to play the game to succeed in specific circumstances. Again, it is long term success requires, for long term success requires both, that is character ethic and personality ethic. Again, absolute principles that exist in all human beings, these are the principles that should be present in your human being, in our personality, that is fairness, honesty, integrity, human dignity, quality, potential, and growth. These principles we must have in our personality. Again, principles contrast with practices that are for specific situations, whereas principles have universal applications. Whatever principles we are keeping, for example, fairness, honesty, integrity, human dignity, quality, and so on, it has universal applications. Okay, but whatever practices we have, for example, waking up early morning, it is a daily practice, and no one, not a single, it is not possible that every person has that attribute or that practice. Means I am following this practice as a good habit, but same practice will not be followed by other person as a good practice. Okay, so that is called a character ethic. Then the 7 habits move us through these stages. Whatever the 7 habits are given by Stephen Covey, those 7 habits move through these stages, that is dependence, independence, and interdependence. In the stage of dependence, the paradigm, that is strategy, the paradigm under which we are born, relying upon others to take care of us, means we are dependent. As a child we are dependent, so we are in the dependence stage of dependence. But afterwards, the independence, the second stage, what happens here, in the stage of independence, the paradigm under which we make our decisions and take care of ourselves. Now you all can take care of yourself, you are able to take care of yourself, so you are independence. Okay, and third stage is that interdependence, the paradigm under which we cooperate to achieve something that cannot be achieved independently. Means in this stage you can take better decisions. Okay, you can take care of yourself, but while achieving something, achieving your target, it is not possible to achieve the target independently or alone. So in this third stage, you should be interdependent, you should cooperate each other, you should help others, and you should take the help from others. That is called here interdependence. So these 7 stages move us through this these 7 habits move us through these 3 stages, that is dependence, independence, and interdependence. Then the first 3 habits, those are be proactive, begin with the end in mind, and habit 3, that is put first things first. These 3 habits are related to the stage of independence. Means whenever you feel that you can take better decisions, you can take care of yourself, you can take decisions on your own, but those decisions, those actions, or those things should be related to these 3 things, that is you should be proactive, you should begin with the end in mind, and you should put first things first. And what are these 3 habits? We will discuss in forthcoming slides. See, be proactive means this is the ability to control one's environment rather than control other. Means you should control the environment. If you are proactive, you should control the environment, and it is more than taking initiative. Means you will take the initiative, but according to that initiative you should work on that, you should implement that with controlling the environment. Then examples are given, questions are raised, how you are identified as a reactive or proactive. See, example is that, or a question is raised here, that what happens to a bottle of soda when you shake it up? It explodes. Yes. And what happens to a bottle of water if you shake it up? Okay, it stays calm. Means you are proactive, means you are like a bottle of water. When you are proactive, you make a choice about how you react to the things that happen in your life. You act like a water bottle. You might get shaken up or mad, but you stay calm and don't explode like a bottle of soda. So it is the attribute of proactive. Then how could you be more proactive? How you can become a proactive? In next slide you will identify what is proactive and what is reactive. But right now, how could you be more proactive? Here 2 circles are given, that is this circle, this outer circle is related to the circle of control, things you can't control. In this circle the things can't control, and in this circle includes the things you can control or change. So this circle is called here circle of influence, and this outer circle is called here circle of concern. So we must focus on the things you can change, or you can influence. That is this circle. On this circle you have to focus, means those things will help you. You are going to control the or change the things, and it is the waste of time if you focus on this, on the things that you cannot control. Okay, so keep in mind. So what is mean by be proactive? Habit 1. So proactive versus reactive when it comes to you, how you respond to things. So when you are reactive, you blame others. You blame others. Okay, and circumstances for obstacles or problems. You blame others, and it is the symbol of being a reactive. And being proactive means taking responsibility for every aspect of your life. Means you take initiatives, you take responsibilities, and you work on it. Okay, between stimulus and response, we have the power of free will to choose our responses. Means there are stimulus and responses available in the environment. What kind of stimulus you will take and what kind of response according to the stimulus you will give depend upon you. The power to choose our responses, we have power to choose our responses. So highly effective people make the decision to improve their lives through the things that they can influence rather than by simply reacting to external forces. You cannot say that it happens because of that person, this wrong happens because of that person, I make mistake because of that person. We can't say that. So when faced with a problem, they take initiative to find solutions rather than just reporting the problem and waiting for others to solve for them. Means you can't wait others to, someone will come to you, someone will come to help you to solve that problem. You should, definitely they will help you, but before that you should take the initiative. So there are three types of problems, that is directly controlled, indirectly controlled, and out of control. And we must focus on the indirectly controlled problems. Okay, so be proactive means take the initiative and make things happen. Aggressively seek new ideas and innovations. Don't let a negative environment affect your behaviors and decisions. Work on things that you can do something about, and if you make a mistake, learn from it. So these are the signs of being proactive. So again, here a classification is given: things you can't control, that includes in the circle of concern. You should not focus here, rather you should focus here. Okay, so things you can't control or change, those are here: other people, the weather, things you did wrong in the past, how other people treat me, homework. Again, see, things you did wrong in the past, you can't correct it right now. Okay, you can correct it right now, but you can't correct in the past. If it happens wrong in the past, let it be. And things you can control or change are your attitude, your mood, your reaction to good and bad, that bad things that happen, and how I treat other people. Okay, so you should focus on these things. Then second habit is that begin with the end in mind. Means you should have clear vision, clear idea in your mind before acting. So that is said here. This habit is based on the principle that all things are creative twice. There is a mental, in your mind there is first creation, and physical there is second creation. Okay, so it states that we decide the direction of your life. It also advocates the different roles we play in life and need to maintain a balance between these roles. So if you don't know where you are going, how will you know when you get there? Means you should fix the direction, you should fix the target in your mind first, and physically, and afterwards physically work on it. That is the saying here: begin with the end in mind. So create a clear vision of direction and destination to help in attaining your goal. Okay, for attaining your goal, create your clear vision of direction and destination. Then this is about setting long-term goals based on true north principle that will guide your daily life. So as Mahatma Gandhi says, live as if you were to die tomorrow, and learn as if you were to live forever. So begin with the end in mind. Again, we have professional goals, that is a near term 5-year plan. Related to 5-year plan, we relate to industry, academia, non-profit organizations, research lab, government agencies, startup, more. And long term goal, entire career. You may say this is the short term goals or near term goals, and these are the long term goals. So third habit is put first things first. Means if you have prioritized first thing, then implement on that, complete that first, don't do second thing. That is said here, put first things first. This habit is where habit 1 and habit 2 comes together, and habit 3 is the second creation, the physical creation, and this is the habit of discipline and management of your life as per the direction you have chosen. So this habit differentiate between urgent and important. That matrix is given, what things we should put in the matrix according to the importance and urgency. So identify the key roles that you value in your life and make time for each of them. Okay, identify your key roles and accordingly make time for each of them. Then continually review and prioritize your goals. You have long term goals, near term goals, or we may have short term goals, and in what extent those goals are completed, you have to take the review. So busy is not productive. You will feel that you are so much busy, but it doesn't mean that you are productive. And separate important and urgent tasks. Say no to doing unimportant tasks. It means that is the definition of important will change. And difference, for example, differences of PhD, assistant, associate, full professor. Okay, these are the stages. We may have this current example. Someone are working, the faculty working in your colleges having the designation, that is professor, assistant professor, professor, doctor. Okay, accordingly they have worked on it in past, and that's why they got that designation. So being a busy doesn't mean that you are productive. You have to fix what is important and what is not important, what is urgent and what is not urgent. So see, put first in this first column which are important and urgent. Put the things in the second column, those are important but not urgent. Put the things which are neither important but urgent in the third column, and put the things which are neither important nor urgent in the fourth column. So you should observe the importance of that object, and accordingly you have to work it. So convincing part of third habit is that we must have the discipline to prioritize our day-to-day actions based on what is most important, not what is most urgent. Here it is focused. We have to take the actions, day-to-day actions, based on what is most important. Okay, so we should plan accordingly to the nature of thing, and we should make weekly schedule for that. Okay, so activities, what kind of activities you can do for this? So identify your important roles, identify each role you will play in your weekly plan, identify items on your weekly plan that do not support your personal mission statement, delegate or delete such items which is not important for you. Then how are your daily activities serving your long term personal missions? You should take note that, and just have multitasking capability. Okay, sometimes multitasking will not be much productive, but try to be multitasker. So here put things first things means if you prioritize first thing here according to this importance, do it first. Okay, that is the structure given here. The next three habits, those are public victories, and first three habits were related to private victories, and it is related to the public victories. Okay, means you may have public victory here. So habit 4 is think win-win. Habit 5, seek first to understand and then to be understood. Habit 6, synergize, and habit 7 is sharpen the saw. So habit 4 is that principle of mutual benefit, that is win-win. Means you may have benefit, there is a benefit while doing that activity or plan. You have that benefit, also other party has that benefit. So identify the key issues and results that would constitute a fully acceptable solution, and make all involved in the decision feel good about decision. You should involve in the decision that will feel good about the decision and committed to the plan of action. Then you will have win-win situation. So by side you should build your characters like integrity, maturity, abundance, mentality, and there is enough success for everyone. In developing an organization culture, be sure to reward win-win behavior among colleagues and employees and avoid inadvertently rewarding win-lose behavior. It is not applicable or acceptable in business sector. Okay, so establishing a win-win agreement helps to create foundation for an effective long-term relationship. Means both the parties should satisfy with your plan, with your strategy, with your contract. So we may have random thoughts. One could be more successful if his or her friends and colleagues are successful. And one criteria to evaluate a professor, this previous example was given, is to see how successful of his PhD students. Means if you want to evaluate a person like a PhD holder, doctorate person, then you have to observe that how many students are have got the guidance for that PhD holder. Truly wish the best for all my current and past students and willing to help you. Hmm? Then habit number 5, that is seek first to understand then to be understood. See, put your for that learn as much as you can about the situation, and for that listen and listen. You have to listen first. The person who is present in front of you, you have to listen it. Means in public you have to listen first, and then you have to convince them. So put yourself into other shoes. Means you take the empathy, feel the sympathy, empathy. What are his feelings or her feelings? Okay, it means, and for getting sympathy or empathy, you must listen empathetically. Okay, so try to see the problem from the other person's perspective and present things logically, not emotionally. And it is said, be credible, empathetic, and logical. So empathetic listening is not simply echoing what the other person has said through the lens of one's own example, but it is putting oneself in the perspective of the other person, listening emphatically for both feeling and meaning. Means if you listen empathetically, you will realize what the person is saying, what are his or her feelings, what he wants to say. Okay, so habit number 6 is synergize. So principles of it includes the principles of creative cooperation. So creative cooperation means you should help others, you should take the help from others. That is called creative cooperation. You should have creative cooperation between you and others. So for that, find ways of working in teams. You should be a good team player, team member, as well as leader. So apply effective problem solving, apply collaboration decision making, follow value differences, build on divergent strengths, leverage means increase your creative collaboration, and embrace and leverage your innovation or innovative ideas. Okay, so whole is greater than the sum of the parts, means whole part is important. And for that you should make a team. So through mutual trust and understanding, one often can solve conflicts and find a better solution than would have been obtained through individual solution. Sometimes individual solution is not applicable. For that, teamwork is applicable. So when synergy is pursued as a habit, the result of the teamwork will exceed the sum of what each of the members could have achieved on their own. So collaboration, here example is given that collaboration in lab, that is between Chinese students and American students. So habit number 7 is sharpen your saw. It means that balanced self renewal, means you have that capability, you have that those competencies, skills, abilities, and you have to renew it. You have to balance those things. The seventh habit is one of renewal and continual improvement, that is of building one's personal capability. So to be effective, one must find the proper balance between actually doing and improving one's capability to do that which you value. Okay, and here you should get a maintenance of your physics, your mentality, your social emotionals, that is your friends and relationships. You should look your spirituality, that is beliefs and values. You should give rewards to yourself, that is that increases your energy, that give you clear thinking, that help you to commit to values, and that connect to you to those people who are important to you. So another important eighth habit, which is not given by Stephen Harvey, that is your voice, inner voice. So find your voice and inspire others to find theirs. So voice lies at the nexus of talent, your natural gift and strength, that is your talent. Then voice lies at the nexus of your passion, those things that naturally energize, excite, motivate, and inspire you. So find out that passion, find out your need, including what the world needs enough to pay you for. Find out your voice in your conscience, that still small voice with that assures you of what is right and that prompts you to actually do it. Okay, so 7 actions for a successful career are given here. That is, first action is enjoy. Find a job you enjoy, one that doesn't really feel like work. Okay, means find such kind of job where you can enjoy that job. Then learn, continue to learn and expand your skill set, at the industrial job. Then communicate, develop strong communication skills. The best work is of little value if you can't communicate it clearly and succinctly. Means you have done a best work, but if you can't communicate to someone else, no one will realize, no one will anticipate you. Okay, then work hard. The harder you work, the better you will do. Then fifth action is evolve. Be prepared for changes in your career and remember that every change is accompanied by new opportunities. Okay, and plan, figure out what you want to do in your career and your life. Means talk to people who are doing what you want to do in 10 years and learn what experiences you will need to get there. Means suppose you are doing a job in your engineering field, then get the consultation or advice from the person who was working in that field. Okay, that is the part of your plan. Then share, as your experience grows, share your knowledge with others, because it will help to find a way to give something back to society. Other persons will get the solution, other persons in the society will get the idea what kind of problems might be raised, might be might come in front of you. You will get, means while sharing that person, while sharing your experience, other person will realize the possibilities of problems that may come in his career. Okay, thank you. So these are the things, 7 habits of highly effective people we have learned in short period of time. Okay, and if you get in a ample time, if you get in leisure time, that then you try to read this whole book, that is 7 habits of highly effective people. It is not possible to cover these things in 30 minutes or 1 hour. Okay, but it is possible when you yourself read it deeply. Okay, really it is very fantastic book. In your professional career, you must purchase such book and this book and read it anytime. So thank you and have a nice day.